Hi, I'm Mary Wong, author of Pathways to Pregnancy and your health and wellness coach. And tonight I'm talking to you about how to grieve because the truth is, I want you to be able to grieve every month if that needs to be there. And why I say that is, I did a talk this past weekend at the Canadian Fertility Show. It's the first of its kind. And I was among 18 speakers talking about fertility. And my topic was You Are Not Your Diagnosis, but that's not what I'm going to talk about tonight. But what I want to address is this monthly roller coaster ride that we ride on when we're trying to conceive, and where, we have that hope, anxiety, and then despair, sadness, grief, anger, frustration, all of that when we get our periods. And the reason why I want to address this is because grief is there and it is very real, even though it's not so tangible for people. And why I'm bringing this topic to light is because it was Saturday, 2:40 a.m. We had to put our cat down. It was a very sudden event, so it was shocking to say the least. And we loved our cat. And I was thinking, gosh, in 12 hours or less, I'm going to be speaking and addressing my topic to a whole bunch of people that are struggling with fertility. And I thought, wow, of course I'm going to talk to them, because in that moment, and when I was grieving for my cat, and I was going to say my child, and really she was actually like my child, my firstborn, really. I was thinking, this grief that I feel right now is really no different than a person going through their monthly loss. And so even though I totally did not feel like going to the Canadian Fertility Show and speaking in that moment, I reflected back and I thought, well, of course I want to go. Of course I want to speak, especially because I know the pain and the suffering that women and couples go through every month when they see a no on their pee strip, or no from the IVF clinic calling them, or no when they get their periods. So that grief is real. It's not tangible. And unfortunately, in society, there's not much support around it, because, see, it's easy to see that someone is grieving when there's a tangible person to grieve for, or in this case, tangible, fluffy fur ball to grieve for. So there's a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy in the environment and society around this. But when it comes to something that is not visible, the grief that a woman and a couple feels when they have a loss through miscarriage, through just not getting their with regards to getting their menstrual cycle, or having a failed IUI, or having a failed IVF, that's not visible. And society doesn't even acknowledge it. And so that has it be just as difficult, isn't it? Because there's no support around it. It's a lonely process. And grief in itself, if you've lost anyone, it's quite a lonely process. And it's that much more isolating when people don't get it. When you're in a place where you've been trying to conceive and other people are saying, just relax, or just get over it, or, what else do they say? You don't want kids anyway. They're a pain in the ass. I have kids, and oh man, they're just trouble. You're lucky to be child-free. You get to do whatever you want. Well, we don't feel so lucky when we're in that position, do we? So this is just a quick little address to you, a little honoring of you as you go through your journey every month, whether it is months or for some years. And I met a lady who was, at least, 12 years of trying to conceive. I feel for you, and I cannot imagine that roller coaster ride of despair and grief and anxiety every single month. How wearing that can be. So I honor you. And the thing that I want you to get today is that you're not alone, that others feel the same way. And the other thing I want you to get is that you are allowed to grieve. And some of you went to my talk, and that's exactly the first thing I did. I'm like, that's the first thing that came out of my mouth, wasn't it? I said right before that talk, or at the start of my talk, I thought, oh my gosh, I might actually get upset. So I might as well address the elephant in the room, which was me. And I brought my Kleenex box right by the podium, right beside me. And the first thing that came out of my mouth was 12 hours ago, less than 12 hours ago, I had to put my cat to sleep. So I'm just going to get my crying out of the way now so I can move on and talk to you. So that's what I'm saying to you. I want you to acknowledge your grief, be kind to yourself, let yourself grieve so that you can get on with your day. Because guess what? If you don't acknowledge it and if you just stuff it down, if I just stuffed it down and pretended nothing was happening, first of all, I think my talk would have sucked because I wouldn't have been able to engage with anyone. And second, it's the ability for you to let go that allows healing. There's some release that happens, and it's healing. And if you don't, you suppress. We say in Chinese medicine that it can cause more retention of energy, which will cause stagnation, and the stagnation over time can really hinder the growth of our cells. We're looking at receptivity, but when we holding in internalized emotions, there's no room for receptivity. We need to let go before we receive. So I hope you get something out of this little mini chat, but it's late. I just delivered a webinar. So I had a full day of work, and then I delivered a webinar to the TCM practitioners globally. And now I'm like, I can't forget about you guys because you guys also are my priority. So I'm talking to you. So here you are, and here we are. And so this is the shortest chat ever, I hope. And I shall see you next week. And I'm not sure what time, because next week on Wednesday, I'll be flying out to Vancouver for the Integrative Fertility Symposium. So where I get to learn more. And I'm also going to be speaking at a fertility clinic. So that's awesome and fun. So I'll talk to you guys next week. And one last announcement. I will be hosting my very first live fertility webinar. And well, it's not called a webinar. I guess we'll say like a monthly coaching session. And I'm excited about that. That's going to be happening May 6th. So please join me and go onto my website, marywong.life. It's not quite there yet, but it's going to be. So I would love for you to sign up. It's $29.99 a month, whereby it's like having me as a consult. Because when people come to see me in my office, the consult is $300, and then subsequent visits are $150. And you get to be with me and ask questions directly. But in this way, we're in a group session where I think that when people ask questions in a private manner, because it's in a private site, then you'll benefit by other people's questions. So it's like a group coaching. And I think it'll be awesome, because then you guys can also connect and create a community for yourselves. So can't wait for that to start. I'll see you guys. And don't forget, if you don't have my book already, check out my book, Pathways to Pregnancy. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Indigo Chapters. So I'll see you guys real soon. Check out my webpage again, marywong.life. And if you want to book with me, you can contact clinic@aliveholistichealth.ca. All right, take care. Bye for now.